Hey folks, Joe DeSanto here. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about using the option of 401k funds you may have to help give you the down payment to buy a house, and whether or not this is a good idea and if it's even possible. So, first of all, 401ks are tricky in terms of their rules and regulations. Some of the rules are set by the government and just regulations. Other rules are defined by the employer offering the plan. So off the bat, what your options will be in this regard are largely dependent on the design of your employer's plan. And if one, they allow for, say, loans off your plan, some do, some don't, it's up to the employer. Two, if they allow for certain kinds of exempt withdrawals. Now, usually a financial hardship would qualify as an exempt withdrawal, and possibly doing a withdrawal for a down payment for a primary residence or first-time residence may also qualify. And when I say qualify, what I mean by that is you can withdraw the money, not pay the 10% early withdrawal penalty, but you will have to pay tax on the money you take out if it's in a traditional IRA, because you didn't pay tax on the way in. So they're saying, hey, now you're taking that as income, they'll send you a 1099, you'll pay tax on the way out. If it's a Roth, you may be able to take it out and only pay tax on any gains that have happened. So first step is to ask your employer what options they offer. Do they offer a loan option, and is it possible that you could use the money without paying the 10% penalty? Now, if you happen to be self-employed like myself and have a solo 401k, you may have more options available to you. Now, solo 401ks can be administered by the custodian of the funds, like a Fidelity or Schwab. They can manage the whole thing. Usually when they do it, they won't allow for loans and they won't allow for a variety of other things. I have a solo 401k with a third-party administrator, so I was able to design the plan myself, and I can take loans off my plan, and I can do other unusual things like invest in alternative assets like cryptocurrency or art or real estate if I want. So if you have a solo 401k, you'll definitely have more options available to you in this regard. Now, the difference between doing a withdrawal and a loan, I think you might be better off with a loan if you can do it, because when you do withdrawal, at the very least, you're going to be paying taxes on the money, so you're going to be cutting into that. You may end up, paying a 10% penalty. If that's going to be the case, then I wouldn't do that. So I don't like that part. The loan would work like this. You would sell all the position stocks or whatever the money is in, and you actually take the physical money from your 401k and you give it to yourself. You don't have to pay the 10% penalty, and you don't have to pay tax because this is a loan. What you're effectively doing is you're turning the investment that your money is in your 401k account, you're converting that investment to a note. You happen to be the note holder as well. So your 401k is investing its fund in a note to you. You have to pay the money back on a certain schedule with interest, but you pay the interest to yourself. Now, I look at this as saying, hey, let's talk about whether or not that's all a good idea in a sec. But so at least you don't pay the tax, you don't pay the early withdrawal penalty, and if it's for a first-time home purchase, you can set the payback terms up to 30-year amortization, which is going to be key, because if it's a lower amortization, your debt, it will affect your debt-to-income ratio a little bit more significantly and could affect your ability to get approved. So the longer repayment term is critical there. There are some other limitations. I believe the loan can only be half of the account value or $50,000 max, whichever is greater. So you might be limited to half of what you have in the account up to $50,000. So that may or may not be a problem. But back to the interest. So a lot of what people say is the downside of taking 401k money out to buy a house is that now you don't have that money invested for your future. I disagree with that. I consider owning your own home a good thing for you, your family, your life in general, but also real estate is a good investment, and home ownership, where you are the resident of the property, you get the best tax breaks, out of any real estate investment. So when you add it all up, I think the home's a great investment, probably the first investment you should make over stocks in most cases. Most of the time for retired people, it's their house that saves them in the end. So what you're doing is you're not investing in stocks in the market, but you are taking that money and investing it in the property. Now, some people will say, well, hey, now you're paying interest though, and you're paying it to yourself. Yeah, that's good, but that money is going into a tax deferred account without getting the tax break. And I'm saying, well, what's the difference? If I were to borrow it from some other party, they would just be getting the interest and it would be an entire expense. So the fact that I am getting this money to use and it's making it possible for me to buy this house and improve my life, I think that's a small price to pay, that you're putting interest in the account and you're not getting the tax deduction because it's going into a tax-free account. So overall, I would go with the loan if you could do it, but I think using your 401k funds to buy a house is a great thing. And the great thing about it is you can use it as a savings account until you're ready to use it to buy a house and get the tax breaks along the way. Then when you borrow out, you've already gotten the tax breaks, but now you're getting it to use for the house. So I look at it as a win-win. That's my thoughts. Thanks so much.